This person changed my life, Alvin Toffler. And it was specifically this book called Third Wave. This was a very powerful book. The first wave was like agricultural age. The second wave was industrial age. And the third wave is the informational age. So if I can recall from this, it changed my entire life. And I believe the third wave is the future, the information age, which we're in right now. COVID-19 was the end of the Industrial Revolution. And right now, we're right here at the beginning of the information age. And it only makes sense that all the tools needed for the information age are currently being built right now. And so we're seeing every billionaire come out with their AI. What's interesting about this is that the AI in and of itself isn't extremely complicated. I think it's almost at the point where it's becoming modular at this point in the early game. But the science itself is now basic science now. Let me show you a textbook. This is the textbook that I read on AI and the approach that they take. And so I think the AIs are going to become like utility companies. But I think that they're going to become ubiquitous. And so I don't think that the singularity has anything to do with AI coming here and becoming ubiquitous. But I think the singularity has more to do with the content, who owns the content, and how valuable the content is to people. We're right here at that transition between the Industrial Revolution and the Information Age. Now, this is a wealth transfer here between the two. In the Industrial Revolution, you had the people who owned the factories, they owned the banks, they owned the railroad, they owned the oil companies, they owned the gas companies, and later towards the end, the software companies, the Googles and all them. So those are centralized ownership where someone owns all the assets and everybody works for their pieces for that asset. So if you own the factors of production, basically you have unfair advantage in the labor market because you got all of the assets that came from the product that you own, but everybody else had to work for their piece of the pie, right? However, in the information age, I don't think it's going to be that way, and I think the individual is going to develop his or her talent to the point where they will be accessible to everybody on the planet. And I think that's the point of the singularity. And that's the danger that lies in it. Also, I believe the computers will be ubiquitous everywhere, and it's going to be hard for us to identify where they are anymore. They're going to be recording everything and crunching data, but this data is not useful if it doesn't have a certain quality to it. And I think that that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start to bringing up this concept of the singularity being here, and most importantly, what you're going to have to start doing to prepare for it.